All right, so first of all, Rosh Chodesh Tov. I want to talk a little bit today about failure and why do people fail in life miserably, whether it's in profession or in relationships and so on and so forth. I mean, there are many reasons for failure. This is only going to be one reason for failure, but quite an important one. You know, we make plans in our head. And in our minds, the plan work according to the way we want it. There's never obstacles in our plans. I'll do this, and I'll do that, and I'll do this, and I'll finish with this, and I'll go to that, and I'll finish with high school, I'll go to college, I go to Yeshiva. After high school, I'm going to go to graduate school, I'm going to find somebody, I'm going to get married. We're going to get married, my wife is going to do this, my husband is going to do that, and so on and so forth, and we make the whole entire plan, and then we sail into the horizon, you know, on a beautiful sunset, and live life happily ever after, and, you know, retire, and we have, life is all good. But then it's not. Why? Because and I do believe this is more in the last, I would say, 50, 60 years, and even more exaggerated now than ever before. Now than ever before. And I do believe it is because of, mainly because of the entertainment in which we expose ourselves to, mainly movies, TVs, you know, and so on and so forth. We got wrapped up so much into a fantasy world that we can't distinguish anymore between fantasy and reality, because we ourselves have so much time on our hands and so many abilities in our hands to go and to pursue things and to purchase things, and we have a lot of capital power, each and every one of us, that we lose very quickly any grounds of reality. And in previous generation, it wasn't like that. You just didn't have time to fantasize. You didn't have time to have, and again, that does not mean that you cannot vision things or you have a passion to grow and develop. It doesn't mean that, but it means to be obsessed in a, how should I call it? Spiritual and mental masturbation, which is to that point pointless. It's pointless. There's no point in that. It's just a seeking of pleasure and in a fantasy world. And when reality hits you and you come to realize that your life, because since you don't live on an island, and even if you would live on actually we do live on an island, but you don't live alone on an island, and even if you would live alone on an island, there's so many things in the universe in which you are coexisting with, and so many processes that are happening, that you never, and nothing ever goes according to your plan. You can live on an island, there's going to be a storm, or there's not going to be wind, or there's not going to be rain, and who knows? Nothing works according to your plan. When you get married and you think that your wife is going to be completely of a slave to you, and she's going, or your husband is going to be your knight in shining armor, and is not. And all of a sudden you have a problem because you realize that this is not what it is. But that's okay. So when you're gonna go and you think that you're going to find, and you're not willing to accept this because in your mind, in your planning, everything should have been okay and everything should have been perfect. And your spouse should understand what you're saying without even saying it. You can just pick up a sentence in the middle and they're supposed to know what you're saying, and they don't have anything to say because whatever you want that's what they want. And there's no such thing as what they want. It's only what you want, and they have to agree to that. If you want this kind of life, get yourself a doll and then live with it, because that's gonna, and in Japan they do that, you know that. They live with dolls. And it's the perfect spouse because, does not complain, it does whatever they want, and it's wonderful. And then you fail with your life because you're not willing to accept the ever-changing movement of your life, which is a part of the movement of the universe. We always also live either in the future or we live in the past. And we always look at the future and we always look at the past and what we have done and what we will do. And we never enjoy and we never look at what we are now. And we fail. You simply fail. You fail in your relationship because you neglect to acknowledge that that person is a universe just like you. You fail to acknowledge that things have, their own momentum. And arguments like, let's say, for example, you thought you're going to go to medical school, and because all your life you were pumped and prepared to go to medical school. Everybody told you should become a doctor, or you're so smart. And you went thinking that you're so smart and you're going to become the doctor, you're going to become the next Ben Carson or whatever it is that you're going to be, a brain surgeon and win Nobel Prizes. For crying out loud, you couldn't even pass organic chemistry. You failed. Or you couldn't pass chemistry. And you try and you fail, and you try and you fail. And you're not willing to acknowledge that. You never made a second plan. You're not willing to accept the chance that maybe there is another way I could go. In other words, by living a world of involved with the complete fantasy, we are losing the ability to be a realist and to live in reality. We don't live in reality. And in previous generations, they were more realists because they had to. And being a realist is what makes you successful. Because you realize that there are other forces out there, and things could change, and things could evolve, and things could develop, and it's not necessarily all according to the way you planned it. And for sure, it's not going to be the way you planned things to be. And it's all about working out and working things together with another person and adjusting. And we're not willing to adjust. We're not willing to adapt. And when you're not willing to adapt, you perish. Lack of willingness to adaptation is a guaranteed failure. Trying and not making it is not a failure. That opens other windows to you, other avenues. Not trying and not adapting is the essence of failure. Now that we are in the foot here, we're just starting Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Chodesh HaCheirut. You have to understand, in order to be free, the first thing that you need to be free of is free of fantasy. Stop fantasizing. Don't believe whatever your mother told you all these years. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so handsome. Oh, you're so capable. You're not. Let's put it this way, you're not. You look like the guy from Sons of Anarchy. You know, the hero, whatever his name, Jax, whatever his name is. No, he's handsome. You're ugly. At best. So make the best out of it. You look in the mirror, you're like mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the prettiest one of all? You live in a fantasy. And fantasy bursts. Fantasy is a good movie by Walt Disney. No more than that. So ground yourself up, roll your sleeves, make an assessment of your skills, or what you're good at and what you're not good at. Enhance what you're good at and improve what you're not good at. Be realistic of your abilities. Strive to become better. But don't dream, don't daydream, don't fantasize. That is complete idle. Will not get you anywhere. So you do that, you'll be able to be free. You won't be able to do that, you're going to become a slave of your own self. And that is the worst slave that is possible. It's a slave of slaves. So Chodesh HaCherut is the month of freedom. The month of freedom is the month of reality. Now you are a nation. And a nation, you got to take responsibility, which is another core for success. Accepting responsibility for that for another time. Have a great day.